Hey bro, tell me if you've ever seen this or noticed this, okay? Maybe in your school, college, friend group, whatever. There is always this one guy, there's always this just one guy that is an absolute pussy whisperer. You know what I'm talking about. There's this one guy who, when starts talking to one girl, just one, he somehow effortlessly starts attracting more and more girls until he's surrounded by them. And he is effortlessly engaging with all of them, keeping all of them engaged in the conversation, keeping all of them happy, making sure everybody is listened, flirting with everybody, and he's doing all of that effortlessly. He's flirting with girls that he's not even interested in because flirting is as natural as breathing for him. And that is actually working in his favor. He's not attracting the wrong kind of girls. Actually, is making him more desirable because women perceive men as higher value who are desired by more women. So he's actually winning on all fronts right now. And here you are, sitting 20 fucking meters away from this absolute crowd of women. And you are not even confident enough, and you're not even going to try to walk up to any single one of these women and try to talk to them, try to engage with them, make them laugh. Because you know you're going to be absolutely demolished by this crazy chad of a man. You know these women will not choose you over that man. You know that you won't be able to win against the pussy whisperer. I honestly get it, bro. Competition these days is brutal, absolutely brutal on all fronts. Whether you want to become something, whether it's a career path, whether it's school, college, even in the dating market and even in the sex market, the competition is unreal. And if you want to thrive in this market, you need to step your game up. And that comes through building charisma as a man. That guy, that pussy whisperer, he's not pretty with you, bro. Even if he is, that is not his biggest asset. I promise you that. His biggest asset is his charisma, is his personality, is how he's effortlessly able to attract so many women, make them desire him. I used to be in your scenario. I have had so many women stolen right out of my hands. And all of that was because I was just this underconfident, ugly, um, weak, pathetic loser that if I see right now, I would strangle him. But I used to be that guy. And if you're anything like that, I recommend you watch this video till the very end because I'm going to help you become the pussy whisperer that you're right now jealous of. And if you can take this with a grain of salt instead of being fucking offended, and if you're offended, you've clicked off by this point. So if you actually want to learn, I know this video is going to be boring. I know there's no fast animations or hypercuts or anything like that. I know this is like a boring, like it's in the category of boring videos. This is like podcast kind of a video. But I promise you, you will learn infinitely more from this video as compared to those fucking videos. Even if they're teaching you something nice, even if they're giving you more value, you will learn more from this video. So I recommend you watch it till the very end without skipping any parts. So, what exactly is charisma? Charisma, I don't know the literal definition of it, but basically, what you need to know, and also from my own personal understanding, charisma is basically just a set of behaviors that you portray or showcase during a conversation that make you more attractive or they make you seem more attractive. Okay? Or a little bit more simply put, is basically whatever you do while having a conversation, whatever behaviors that you portray, whatever things that you choose to do with your hand gestures, everything that you do while making a conversation, you make them seem more intentional and you make them seem more well thought through, which in turn is more attractive. So that is what charisma is. Let me give you like a quick example. You see these pauses that I take in between of my sentences and in between of whatever I'm saying. This is not because I'm forgetting my lines. These are intentional pauses that I put in the middle intentionally because I want to put emphasis towards what I have just said. And also I want to show that I'm thinking before I say something else. So when I take like a quick pause, when I change my glance somewhere else, it seems like I'm thinking about the next thing that I'm about to say, right? And I am thinking about, I'm formulating the sentences in my head. This is not scripted. So the formulation of sentences before I say them out loud is somehow this makes you seem so much more intelligent and so much more well put together and just wise in general because you're actually spending time actually thinking before you speak. Most people don't do that. Most people just spew bullshit. Most people are just yappers. Yappers speak whatever the fuck they want to speak, what they want to say. I still say whatever I want to say, but I make it a point to put emphasis on the words that I want to put emphasis on, and I put immense thought behind the words that I'm about to say next. A simple pause does all of that. So you don't really think, I don't really actively have to think before taking a pause, right? I don't have to, I don't have to intentionally, I don't put pauses like in scripts. Like when I'm scripting, I don't just casually put pause in brackets. This is the behavioral trait that you build through having a lot of conversation and through building charisma, which I'm about to talk to you about next. So this is one trait that could be considered like a charisma thing. Another thing is keeping constant eye contact. It's so fucking key, but people just don't understand it. People underestimate it so much. Like it's been thrown around so much. So many videos there are about keeping good eye contact, maintaining good eye contact while you're talking to a spouse, while you're talking to your crush, while you're talking to a girl that you just met. But it is just so important. Just all right, I'm going to say one sentence twice. Once while keeping eye contact and while actually just by keeping eye contact, and one I'm going to say while looking here and there. Let's see if you can figure out what the difference is. Okay. My name is Akshath Sharma, and I'm a self-improvement YouTuber. I help young men who are struggling with self-improvement, who are struggling to get better, who are struggling in the gym, who are having trouble building consistency in the gym and in their life in general. I help them become better versions of themselves and I help them reach greatness. My name is Akshath Sharma and I'm a self improvement YouTuber. I am building a community of young men who are having um, problem with self improvement and who want to improve themselves by becoming better versions of themselves. And I do this all through YouTube videos. You see the difference? Yeah, it was, this part wasn't scripted, so maybe the two sentences were not like identical, but you still understand the point. Eye contact makes a big difference. Speaking slowly and with composure creates a big difference. This is not a conversation video, but still I want to make sure that you understand that these things are what create charisma in a man. Basically, your personality while having a conversation is what dictates your entire charisma. That is what charisma is called in my own understanding and my own definition. Okay, so now you know what charisma is, and probably by this point you understand why you need to build charisma and how to be a more charismatic man. Now let's talk about the actual steps and the fronts that you need to develop yourself on in order to become a charismatic man. In my humble opinion, you only need to master a few things in order to become charismatic, and then developing those traits help you further develop more traits that you will discover on your own. That will help you build your own unique personality and become charismatic, become like more charismatic. But there's only a few basics that you need to master. So here are the list of fronts that you need to be working on in order to perfect these fronts and become a more charismatic man. Number one thing, and this is by far like if you master this one thing, you can get away with a lot. Like you can get away with having a shitty personality, being stupid. You can get away with talking like an idiot, But if you nail this one thing, you can get away with a lot of stuff. So that number one thing is, you ready? It's being funny. You can learn being funny if you're not already funny, if your friends don't even already consider you funny. And by the way, there's a difference between being a fucking clown and being actually humorous and funny. Okay, and there's also a big difference between making your guy friends laugh and making your girlfriends laugh. There is a big, huge, ginormous difference. If you don't understand that, you're a dumbass probably, and you probably are also a virgin. So what I recommend you do is figure out some guys that you know or very funny that make girls laugh. I don't care if they make a lot of guys laugh and they make just one or two girls laugh. The guy that you're looking for, the person that you're looking for, is someone that makes girls laugh. And that makes them laugh continuously and regularly, consistently. This is your guy. This is the guy that you're going to copy. This is the guy that you're going to spend a lot of time. This is the guy that you're going to this is the guy that you're going to let possess you. So very often, very occasionally, not very occasionally actually, very often, you're going to be in situations where he will be like the absolute alpha. He will take over the situation. He will take over the conversation. He's going to be so funny. Every single girl is going to listen to him. Your job there is not to try to one up him by any means. Do not try. He will destroy you. Just try to learn from him. See what he's doing. Look at his body language. Look at the words that he's trying to use. And eventually you'll understand him enough to where you'll be in a scenario and you can just think, what would my funny friend say in this situation? And you can just say those things. And eventually you'll get them super, super, super accurate. Where there will be occasions where you and your funny friend might say the same thing at the same time. And eventually, you know what? You will develop better sense of humor. And here's how. I don't want you to copy them 100% because you're in school, you're in college, most of your friends are dumbass. I'm sorry if I fucking offended you. Click off this video, but most of your friends are dumbasses, and they are not intelligent. They're not on self improvement. They're not working towards bettering themselves. They're not on their way to making 1 lakh rupees per month. They're not doing all those things, right? They wanna graduate. They wanna have a lot of sex. They wanna party. They wanna get a 9 to 5 job. They wanna get married, have kids, die. That is their plan, right? So most of your friends are not very intelligent. They're not that smart, and probably they're also clowns. They're making a fool out of themselves. You don't want to do that, right? You need to have some self-respect, and you want to be a high-value man, right? Humor is just like an effect that you want to have. You don't want to be known as the comedian. So you're not going to copy every single trait that they have. You're not going to say every single thing that they might say. You're only going to say the things that will work in your favor, that will make girls laugh, that will make them laugh in a way that they like you, right? Don't let girls laugh at you. That is not a good thing. Don't make fun of girls. They don't like that. I don't know where this notion came from. I think we all did this as kids. You used to like a girl and you roast the fuck out of her. Do not do that. The girls like doing that. Girls, if a girl likes you, she's gonna make fun of you. She's gonna bully you. All of that. You're not supposed to do that. You're a man, right? Somehow you're more dominant. You're stronger. You're probably bigger. If you, on top of that, make fun of her and bully her, you're gonna make her feel uncomfortable, and she's not going to like you at all. She might resent you. She might dislike you. You will push her away. So don't try to do anything stupid. Obviously, don't make fun of the girl that you like. Flirt with her. Learn how to make her laugh. That's all. And you can do this by multiple ways. The first and the easiest way is just as I said, copy your funny friends. Only copy the traits that are desirable by girls and just forget the rest. Number 2 is you can watch stand-ups and try to just steal their humor. Even if you can, steal their jokes. It's fine. Even if someone has heard a joke, they're going to laugh again, right? Even if they say, I've heard this particular comedian on Netflix say this exact same joke, you can be like, yeah, I copied it from him. So what? Everybody still laughed. Who gives a fuck, right? So what? You copied. The effect is still the same. So it doesn't really matter. Just do what you have to do in order to become funny. The second most important thing that you need to develop as a man in order to build charisma is, in my opinion, and this is like in order of importance. So this is the second most important thing. If you have just these two things, if you're funny and this thing, you're gonna dominate your competition, bro. So the second thing is being intelligent. I know it sounds weird, and I know I've probably said this a lot of time on this channel, but it's so fucking important, and so many people don't do it. It's unfathomable to me that people actually believe they can get away with not being intelligent, with not being knowledgeable, with not being multidimensional as a man. It's so attractive to a woman when you can talk about multiple genres or multiple topics, and you can seem knowledgeable and you can seem informed and actually have opinions about multiple things. Like if you have read books, if you have information about business, if you have information about fitness, if you know about habit building, if you know about the political situation, if you can talk about things that are not connected at all, you're going to seem so much multidimensional, so much more interesting. And that is so attractive in a man. I've said this probably 1,000 times on this channel, but read books. If you probably had this question in your mind, okay, how do I become multidimensional, right? Read books, watch podcasts that are different than your own opinions. I watch podcasts of Andrew Huberman. I watch podcasts of Hamza. I watch podcasts of Chris Williamson, and I watch podcasts of Ranveer Alwadia. Nowhere by no theme are these like podcasts connected. I don't watch them for entertainment. I watch them simply for education, for information, for a mindset shift. All of that comes from gaining knowledge through some source. Like you need to understand certain topics, right? When you like, I'll give you like my own process of buying books, right? Whenever I have trouble during like any point in my self-improvement journey, right? If I'm having trouble building habits, if I'm having trouble with my discipline, I'm having trouble with my consistency, I'm having trouble with motivation, so I read a book on compounding. Whenever I have a problem during my self-improvement journey, I buy a book about that. So if I'm having trouble with my discipline, I buy a book about that. I read the book, I implement the steps, actionable steps, or I create my own actionable steps if there are none in the book. And that is how I get results. Alright, I am stabbing myself in the ass right now, but you don't need to watch my videos. I'm not saying anything new. I'm not saying anything that I've discovered. Okay, I'm speaking from experience, but this is nothing new. You will get the same information if you read books. It's just that you'll have to spend like 12 hours, 13 hours, sometimes a week, sometimes a month reading a book. And you can get this knowledge in like 1 hour or so, however long this video is going to be. So reading books is still very important. People stop reading books. They're listening to audiobooks, which is I'm not against audiobooks, but there's just something about reading books. Like you feel it, you look at it, and you can hear yourself say it out loud. You're evoking different senses, and you're absorbing that knowledge from so many sources. It is so much valuable, so much more valuable than audiobooks, bro. Get books and read books. Read books on top. Read fantasy books. Read novels for all I fucking care. Just read, bro. Best case scenario would be you're reading self-help books that are actually helping you reach or get closer to your goals. Read Alex Hormozy. Read Discipline is Destiny. Read How to Win Friends and Influence People. Read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. All of these books will enhance you in so many fronts, bro. They're going to give you so much three-dimensional knowledge. It's unparalleled. You cannot get this knowledge from watching 7 minute fucking clickbaity videos. 9 ways to make 10K a month through passive income in 2024. That's fucking bullshit. You know that's bullshit. You still watch these videos. Why are you doing that? Good knowledge comes from hard, difficult sources. Good knowledge, actual good information, valuable information is difficult to achieve. Is difficult to acquire. If it's easily acquirable, it's not going to be valuable for you. 3-minute book summaries are not going to do it for you. You have to read the entire book multiple times. I've read Discipline is Destiny, which is like a 200 pages book, probably 3-4 times now. I'm very sure I've read it at least 3 times. I probably read it more, I just forgot. I've read How to Win Friends and Influence People probably 4-5 times now. It's a relatively shorter book, but I've still read it so many times. There are so many books that I found so much value in. I just kept reading them again and again. And every single time I found more value. I found a greater shift in my mindset. Books are invaluable. You cannot read enough books. The only thing common between every single billionaire, between every single successful person that I know of, that I respect and look up to personally, is that they used to read books at least some point in their life. Like crazy people. Reading a book a week, reading a book a day, that is the level of psychopath that you have to become. And not just reading, not just skimming through the pages, actually absorbing that knowledge and using it later on in your life. And you know what? Sometimes you may feel like you're not really going to use that knowledge. Like, I have read 100 million leads. I don't have a business right now, right? Or I'll give you like a previous example, okay? I read Atomic Habits a long time ago. And I was not really on self-improvement back then. I just got the book because everybody like productivity guru on YouTube was talking about that book. And I just got that book on random because I was like, I'm doing something productive. I read that book. I spent long time, a couple of months on that book because I was not really good at reading. I was reading like 2-3 pages a day, which is not ideal. Read more. So I just finished that book and I realized like nothing really is helping me right now. Like I won't really implement this. I'm not building habits. I don't care about that right now. After 3-4 good years, did I apply that knowledge? So it's more than just reading and absorbing the book. You don't even need the knowledge. You just need the mindset shift. And that mindset shift is so much more precious than the actual knowledge itself. This mindset shift happens over long periods of time. It doesn't happen instantly. It doesn't happen with 7-minute videos. It doesn't happen with 3-minute shorts. You get the point. So spend a lot of time reading books. If you want suggestions, my suggestion would be you start with How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. You also read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You read The Way of the Superior Man by David Dida. You read Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday. And lastly, Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. These are the books that I would recommend. These are the 5 books that I would recommend to you. These books changed my life. These are the absolutely mind-fucking books. You will be reading them again and again and again. These are absolutely valuable to me. And these are the books that led me to be multidimensional. These are the reason that I speak with such efficiency and with such conviction, because I actually understand concepts now. I can actually say with confidence that I know how to build habits. I know how to be a disciplined man. I know how to speak with strangers with confidence. I know how to introduce myself to new girls that I've just met. I know how to make them like me. That comes from reading books. Very important, very detrimental, but reading books is just not going to do that. So listen to podcasts, just inform yourself, become more intelligent. The best way to do that, the easiest way to do that, the simplest way to do that is read books. The third way that you're going to become a more charismatic man is learn how to disagree without disrespecting, but still disagreeing when you need to disagree with someone. So this is very, very, very important, and this is also very interesting because I want to take like a different tangent. I want to speak about disagreement. So obviously, disagreement, confrontation, it's uncomfortable, right? For anybody and everyone, even if you're like the most, even if you're the most masculine, the most confident man, you still don't want to disagree with the person in front of you. Whatever they're saying, if you respect them, if you like them, if you're having a conversation with them, you don't want to disagree with them. But taking a stand on whatever you believe in, despite of what the person in front of you will think, is so attractive to women. It gives you such a masculine advantage over the person that is looking at you, that you're having conversation with. You don't just want to be a sheep and just follow anyone. That is not attractive. That is not being an alpha. That is actually literally being a beta. Followers are beta, leaders are alpha. That's like the way it goes. Most men these days, I will notice they will just say things that they will hear like other leaders, like social media leaders or gurus say, like Andrew Tate and Namza. They'll be acting all masculine. They'll be acting all red pill and shit. And it's nice, it's cute, but it won't get you very far because you don't have your own opinions, you don't have your own thought process, you don't believe, you're agreeing to everything that they're saying, but you don't believe in everything that they're saying. Like if this is even more degenerate, by the way, if they're like extremely hungry for validation, and if they're extremely hungry for the women's approval in front of them, they will even go as far to becoming a feminist. And I have nothing against feminist people. I believe in women's rights, whatever. But it's a little bit more complex than just giving women equal rights, right? Like I believe that they deserve equal rights, but it's a little more complex than that. Like, do they deserve equal wages? Like, if you put two people, this has become like a feminist debate. If you put two people in the same room, in the same working conditions, and with the same pay, and they're both working the same job, they're doing the same tasks in a particular company, the woman will put less efforts than the man. The woman will be required a maternity leave when she gets pregnant, and the man will just work. The women, on average, I'm not saying for all women, I'm not saying this for all women, I don't speak for women, but statistically, I'm talking about simply the numbers. On average, women will put less effort than a man. If they're doing the same job, the man will produce more for the same money. So why shouldn't men be paid more? If that makes sense. So, anyways, I didn't want this to be a feminist debate, so I'm sorry if that offended you, but fuck you if you're watching this and you're offended. Fuck you, bro. Anyways, so don't just agree to what people are saying just because you want their validation or just because you're scared of confrontation. Stand up for your own opinion, stand up for your own words, say what you actually believe in, not just agreeing with what the person's saying. Like, at some point in your life, you will realize this and you will be sad that when you ask yourself this, do I really believe in what I'm saying? Do I really believe in what I'm agreeing with? Or am I just saying this because I want to be approved by the society and I want the person in front of me's validation? And because I'm afraid of confrontation and because I'm afraid of being the black sheep and standing out. Like, really think about this. So oftentimes when you're making arguments, you're not really saying things that you actually believe in. You're saying things that you heard other people that you respect or look up to or idolize say, or you're just saying what you think will validate in front of you. Obviously, like sometimes you don't want to argue. Sure, agree. I do that very often. Like sometimes I don't want to argue with a incel brain rot person. So I just agree with what they're saying. They're like, YouTube is dead, self-improvement genre is saturated. I agree with you, bro. Whatever. You're the boss. But sometimes you have to take a stand for yourself. Sometimes you need to think that the person in front of you is actually making like a good argument against you. So you need to tackle that with an argument of your own, and you need to disagree with respect. which leads us to the second point. If the person in front of you is giving you like a smart actual argument and not just stating things that they have heard themselves, you need to respect that person and give them like an argument back respectfully. And that takes a lot, bro, to not get triggered by some things. Like I'll be honest, there's some comments that I read that just piss me the fuck off. But I make it a point not to get triggered by that and to stand my own ground respectfully. That is what a high value man is. I could just spew out bullshit. I could just curse them out in different languages. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't affect me anyway. I make it a point to make sure that there's no misunderstanding and no confusion between me and my audience. I make it a point to respectfully answer whatever question that they're asking, to respectfully give my own argument against whatever it is that they've said. That is the way of the superior man. That is being a charismatic man. To not get angry, triggered, violent, and aggressive or even to get like panicked or get scared of confrontation and disagreement. That's number 3. The number 4 thing, and this is equally important in my opinion, is holding eye contact. So you see, I'm holding eye contact with you and I've given you an example of what not holding eye contact seems, right? It's detrimental that you learn this one skill. It is so attractive to girls to be able to hold eye contact. I know this is going to be uncomfortable at first. At first, you won't be able to hold eye contact. You won't be able to do simply this. If I'm physically sitting in front of you right now, you wouldn't be able to hold this much eye contact. And that's because it's uncomfortable. As humans, we like, this is confrontational, right? I'm staring into your soul right now. And this eventually becomes uncomfortable. If I overdo it, if I'm like mean mugging you, if I'm doing that, if I'm like really staring at you, it becomes weird. But to a certain point, to a certain degree, it's actually desirable. And here's how you can use it to your own advantage. Like in situation of where you're having a conversation with a girl, and it's actually nice to get that like little uncomfortable energy because that creates tension. Tension is good with girls. So here's what you're gonna do. You're talking to the girl and she's saying something and you continuously look at her eyes and you don't say anything. You simply listen and you look at her eyes. And you keep doing that until she breaks eye contact. And when she breaks eye contact, that is your cue to understand that she is now uncomfortable, like a little uncomfortable. She's not like creeped out or anything. She's just like a little uncomfortable. That's when you can also break eye contact. Don't be looking at her like that even when she's broken eye contact. That's fucking weird, bro. Just up until the point that she breaks eye contact, just keep looking at her eyes. And that is so powerful. This is how you give girls butterflies. Obviously, you need to be pretty looking and all of that stuff. But if you simply do that, look at her in the eyes, you will give her butterflies. So what this does, what having her break eye contact first does, is it puts you in the more powerful situation than me. You're dominant here. You're the alpha here when she breaks eye contact. And that is what you want. You want a more feminine woman, not a more masculine woman. Because if you get a more masculine woman, you're fucked, bro. Trust me, I've had a more masculine woman and it was not pretty. There were constant clashes, etc. It's not a pretty relationship to be in, or even a pretty interaction to be in. So when you're in the more dominant situation, stop there. Like, cool, like, a conversation has like waves. You can imagine conversation to be like waves. When she breaks eye contact, it's like the wave has reached its upper point. That is the point where you have to like cool it down a bit, where you have to like take the wave downwards a bit. That's where you like say a joke, say something funny, or make her laugh, give her a compliment, say something nice. And bro, this is so powerful. Like I have had so many compliments from girls that I have dated, I had a crush on, I didn't even like, and all of them give me compliments about my eyes. And like, Girls don't really notice guys' eyes unless they're like looking at them. So maintaining eye contact, that's super, super, super powerful. Every single time I've had like you have the prettiest looking eyelashes, you have the prettiest looking eyes I've seen on a guy. So they've had the best kind of eye contact with me as a guy. So that's like a big compliment. That is what you want to hear from girls. So point number 5, this thing is, in my opinion, going to help you immense. This one point is going to help you immensely in your conversation, in making you sound more interesting while talking. Okay, so not really conversation, just make you sound more interesting while you talk. It's gonna improve your speech basically. Speech basically. So the point is to replace your ums and ahs with pauses. So I've said this back. So I've spoken enough about this. So I'm not gonna expand too much about it. But basically, whenever you feel the urge to say and just pause. It's completely acceptable. People don't people make it unnecessarily uncomfortable, like they feel like it's uncomfortable. But if you can just ignore that discomfort, if you can just forget about it, eventually it's not going to feel uncomfortable for you at all, and the person in front of you is going to be more engaged in the conversation because they're going to expect something after the pause, obviously. So it's completely ideal and it's completely acceptable for you to pause instead of using filler words. Filler words give you like, it's a bad impression. Just don't use filler words. It when you're in for an interview, right? The interviewer, that is, he is looking for these cues. He is looking for you to say he's looking for you to say okay, so and such, just bullshit words that you don't need to say, but you say it just to fill up the space, just to fill up the gap in between your speech. It shows lack of confidence, and it shows that you're not really articulate with your thoughts. So don't do that. That's number one thing. Like, that's like a sub part. Another thing is pitch your voice. So whenever you want to emphasize about something that that is really like, you want to make sure the person in front of you understand the depth of whatever it is that you're saying, that you want to give importance to basically something that you're saying. You speak slowly, you speak clearly, you make sure that every word that you're saying in that particular sentence or a particular speech is heard, right? That shows that you really, that you care about the importance of whatever it is that you're saying. Okay. Another thing is, whenever you fasten your pitch, whenever you're speaking too fast, it shows that you're passionate about whatever it is you're saying. You're still speaking clearly, by the way. You're not slurring your words. You're not mixing or jamming 2-3 words together. You're still speaking clearly, but you're speaking relatively faster to your normal pitch. This shows that you're passionate about whatever it is that you're talking about. Also, you can increase the volume of your speech. You can decrease. You can speak softer. You can also change the tone of whatever it is that you're saying. You can also change the tonality in your entire speech. So listen to me talk like this, okay? When I'm talking like this is called a monotone, where I'm not really changing my tone, where I'm not really changing my volume, my pitch, my voice, and keeping everything same. This is called a monotone, and this is extremely boring. This is extremely, even if I put pauses and even if I'm maintaining eye contact, I still sound extremely, extremely, extremely boring. And I sound like a fucking nerd for some reason. This is not ideal. Do not talk like this. This is what people normally sound like. There is no pitching in your voice, there is no tone in your voice, there's no high volume, low volume in your voice. There is no tempo in your voice. You're not really saying something, you're not saying some words faster, you're not saying some words slower. People can't really tell how you feel, people can't tell anything about you from this tone. So don't have a monotone, have three-dimensional voice. Having three-dimensional voice is basically speaking on different different dimensions. You're changing your tone, you're changing your voice, you're also, so I'll give you like a big secret, okay? This is how you sound more confident. So instead of ending your sentences on a high note, you end your sentences on a low note. So you see the difference? Whenever I end my sentences on a high note, I sound like I'm asking a question, and that is really not attractive. And whenever I'm speaking with a lower tone at the end of my sentence, I sound more confident. I sound like I sound like I'm sure about whatever it is I'm saying. I'm speaking with more conviction. Obviously, your choice of words and your personality matters a lot, but whenever you're speaking with this tone, you're sounding like a dumbass, and you're not gonna attract a lot of girls. So this little section of how to improve your speech is the best I can give you in this short amount of time. So, first thing is do not add filler words. Be okay with silence. Number two is don't be monotonic. Change your tonality a bit. It's okay to speak loudly sometimes. It's also okay to speak faster sometimes to speak slowly and put more emphasis on particular words. Use air quotes, use gestures. Do anything to give your speech more personality. Okay, and number three is to always end sentences on a low note. Whenever you end sentences on a low note, you're going to sound more confident and that you're speaking with more conviction. Number six, and this is very straightforward, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time explaining this. Holding on to your opinions and your values. These days, men or mediocre men, normal men, weak men in general, are just so afraid of being the black sheep, of standing out, of confrontation, that they will do anything to fit in. They will change their values like that. If they see their friend group doing something, saying something, participating in something, some act that they don't personally believe in, they will themselves change their values and opinions just to fit into that group again. There's a psychological term for it. I'm forgetting. I think it's called groupthink, where your peer group, your friend group is behaving or acting in a certain way that is against your values and your own opinions, but you still agree to them and you still participate in the same activities that they are participating in, and you change your models, you change your values, you change your opinions in order to fit into that group because you're afraid of being the black sheep. These kind of men stay virgin all their lives, and they have to wait for their parents to get them married, and they have to beg their wives for sex and then give them all the fucking power in the relationship. These are beta fucking men. Don't be like them. Be a real fucking man. Hold on to your values and opinions. Disagree with people when they don't follow your morals and opinions. And if your friend group is going in the wrong direction, if they're engaging in activities that you don't believe in, if they're getting drug addicts, if they're becoming drug addicts, if they're becoming alcoholics, if they're participating in hookup culture, anything that you don't believe in, and you still go up to them and you still wag your fucking tail and go up to them just to fit in, change your fucking opinions, then I don't respect you. I know you probably don't care like a guy doesn't respect you. Just know Akshath Sharma doesn't fucking respect you. Akshath Sharma thinks you're a bitch and a pussy. So don't change your opinions and values just to fit into your friend group. Your friend group is not that valuable anyway. They're just a bunch of dumbasses. They're not ever gonna get the success that you're gonna get. If you're watching this video, you're probably not going to change your values. You're probably not that kind of a man, but you still do it at some level. Make it a point to never change your opinions and values for anything whatsoever. For anyone, anything, be it your girlfriend, be it your crush, whoever it is. Do not say something that you don't believe in. Do not do something that you don't believe in. Number 7. And these are like getting less and less important, but I feel like these are all the things that you need to be working towards. So number 7 thing that will make you a more charismatic person is not getting triggered when disrespected. So this is what I call calm confrontation. So obviously I'm 100% without question. I'm not asking you to just allow disrespect or tolerate disrespect by any means. No, like me, for example, you disrespect me once, I am confronting you on that. I will make you extremely, extremely uncomfortable and I'll talk to you with disrespect back. Second time you disrespect, I will warn you and I will again make you extremely uncomfortable and make you regret that you disrespected me. The third time, you're simply getting punched in the fucking face. That's how it works. That is how it should be. Like, people are getting extremely comfortable of talking shit on the internet and not getting punched in the fucking face for it. So do not tolerate disrespect by any means. I'm not suggesting physical violence. I'm merely saying that do not tolerate it. You can use your words. They disrespected you with words. Use your words back. Disrespect them back. Hold your fucking ground. Cool. I'll try to explain this. Like, this is extremely attractive to women. To calmly confront the person who's disrespected you, like not losing your temper, is extremely, like, being capable of violence, being capable of disrespecting the person back without showing that you're triggered, without showing that you feel disrespected, is extremely, extremely desirable by women. And I'll explain to you with an example why this is. Try to think of the primal times, like Stone Age times. Like, a woman will find a man who is capable of violence very attractive. That would be considered like an alpha man, right? A strong, strong, able man who is able to confront other men, who is able to fight other men and win. That would be considered like an alpha man, right? Another thing that a woman will look for automatically is his ability to control his violence, is his ability to tame his inner beast. So be violent, but be able to control that is very attractive to women. I'll explain to you why. Because she will look for you to be an alpha man, to be violent, to be angry, to not tolerate disrespect, definitely. Because that shows that you can protect her and the family, right? That shows like you can directly provide to protect the family. That's very attractive. She will also, however, look for your ability to not lose your temper when provoked. So you're capable of violence, and you will make sure that the person in front of you understands that you're capable of violence. Violence can be through words, through physical contact also. So you're capable of violence, but you will make sure that the person in front of you understands that you're not triggered, that you're not you can choose when to let go of your temper. You can choose when to lose your temper, but you have control over that. That is very important, because not losing your temper when provoked is necessary, because like that's what children would do. This is scientifically, like, this is what the actual science behind it is. Why women like men who are capable of violence but are able to hold their violence, like are able to control their violence. It's because the children will provoke you, and ideally women want a man that will not kill the child when provoked, right? So that is why women desire men that are capable of violence to protect them, and also able to control their violence. So they're not really at a risk of losing their child, if that makes sense. So we as primals have not really changed, like our biology hasn't really changed that much. So we have the same instincts. So the women are attracted to the same qualities as they were before. So in the Stone Age times, if a person disrespected me, I would kill him. But these days, if a person comments something mean on my video, I won't kill him. I won't even fight him. I will respectfully respond to his disrespect. And I'm very grateful, bro. I don't really get any disrespect or any mean hate comments on my videos. I'm very grateful for that. So, but that is really, really necessary. Like, you're able to calmly handle disrespect. Being able to handle disrespect is very important. The eighth and the final thing that you need to master in order to become like a charismatic man is being able to flirt without seeming creepy. And this is my area of expertise, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. So most men cannot flirt. They can eat tease, they cannot flirt. They can roast a woman, they can make her laugh, they cannot flirt. Flirting is very subtle. Flirting is it is considered outdated, but it 100,000% works. And it works wonderfully. Let me be honest with you. So flirting is very subtle art. If you can make her laugh and blush at the same time, you won, bro. It's as simple as that. Flirting is letting her know that you're interested in her directly, and also making her laugh. And also making her laugh or making her happy in some way. So I couldn't give you like an example of this because it is so specific, like it is so like situation based. But basically, you're looking to make her laugh and blush while not making her uncomfortable. If you can do these three things, you're basically flirting and you basically won. She likes you at this point, bro. Compliment her, compliment her with conviction. Don't be like, don't back off on a compliment. You know what I'm talking about. This is exactly what you do. This is exactly what beta men do. Hey, you're looking pretty today. Pretty ugly. What the fuck? What are you trying to accomplish with it? What are you trying to do? Are you letting her know that you don't like her? Are you letting her know that she's not supposed to like you back? What are you doing? Compliment with conviction. You look really pretty today. And then wait for a response. She will, if she likes you, she'll respond with a compliment. If she's also polite, she'll respond with a compliment. She might just giggle and laugh. If she does that, she likes you, bro. So there's so many signs that you need to be looking for in a girl that tells you that she likes you. But it can make so many different things. And you learn these things, you learn these little cues by flirting more. My suggestion, my advice with you, in order to not seem creepy, is to not do it with girls that you're acquainted with or girls that you have just met. Never flirt with girls that you've just met or are acquainted to. Do it with girls that you've established a little friendship with already, that you have like a certain level of comfort, that you occasionally subtly roast sometimes, like not really roast, like teaser. Teasing is also a big part of like flirting. Subtly winking at her, telling her that she looks pretty, telling her she looks hot. The occasional things like that is what encompasses as flirting, and you will learn it by doing it, bro. Again, I'll tell you to look at a guy who you know is great at flirting. Don't ask him to teach you how to flirt. Nobody can teach you how to fucking flirt. It comes naturally. Like we are natural born flirters, bro. But try to learn like the body cues, the body language, the words that they're using, the kind of eye contact that they're maintaining. Like flirting can even be silent. I can flirt with my eyes, bro. So there's a lot into flirting. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of videos on flirting, and I promise you it won't like make you like a master flirter. It won't even teach you how to flirt, but it will give you like a good direction to go in, and you can then learn from then on. So that's the last point that you need to be worrying about. Flirt, but without seeming creepy. Don't do it with girls that you just met. Do not do it with crushes. You will ruin yourself. You will ruin you'll ruin your shot. You will mess up. Do it with your friends, the girls that you're friends with. Okay. So these are all the things that you need to be working towards. But how can you put them into practice? Like, how can you practically start using them? Pick out a couple of girls from your friend group. If you don't have a single girl in your friend group, God bless you, dude. Like, you are fucked. You are royally fucked. If you don't already have a couple of girls in your friend group, just introduce yourself to new girls, become more acquainted with them, get more comfortable, and then start doing these things. Ideally, in the best case scenario, you already have a couple of girls, a bunch of girls in your friend group. You will start practicing all these things on them. Start maintaining a stronger eye contact. Start to differentiate your tone a bit while you're talking to her. Start to subtly flirt with her. Start adding humor into your conversations. All of these things will help you become more charismatic, and they will tell you that you're being more attractive, that you suddenly have changed a lot for the good, better. And that is the best case scenario that you can do. Slowly look for cues in them. Like I told you, they will break eye contact when you keep eye contact long enough, unless they're like extremely comfortable with you, unless they're like your homie kind of a friend. If they're like that kind of like a masculine girl kind of a friend, they're gonna keep strong eye contact, bro. You can like have like an eye contact battle with them. They will not break eye contact, but most girls will get uncomfortable and they will break eye contact, and that is like a good cue for you. So just like that, see for behavioral changes, see for these little subtle cues that will tell you how a girl feels. And you can also like literally ask them. These are your friends. You can ask them like, did I make you uncomfortable? How did I said that the other day? How did that make you feel? And how have I changed in the past couple of days? I'm trying to work on my speech a little bit. What are your thoughts? You can ask these things like straight away. That shows confidence. That is also nice. I'm building a community of high value men or men who want to become high value. If you think you're one of them, subscribe to my channel right now so my videos can find you more easily and so I can help you in your own self improvement journey by videos just like this every Monday and Thursday. And I'll see you in the next video.